CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Highway 400 has reopened after an early morning crash that left an off-duty York Regional Police officer with serious injuries. Bradford was shut down for the morning commute after a three-vehicle crash that sent two people to hospital. CTV's Rob Cooper has more on what happened.
The Tuesday commute came to a standstill heading north on Highway 400 in Bradford after a serious three-vehicle crash just before 4 this morning. Two people were sent to hospital. The driver of the rig was not injured.
Tractor trailer lost power, came to a rest on the right shoulder, partially blocking the right lane. Short time later, an SUV, came and collided into the back of that trailer.
That vehicle was struck by a second SUV. The third vehicle involved was driven by an off-duty York Regional Police officer who was taken to a trauma center in Toronto. The other driver sustained minor injuries. Police say road conditions were bare and dry at the time. The truck driver had his lights flashing while stuck on the side of the highway prior to the crash.
In this case, the driver was not able to move his vehicle. He lost complete power. He had lights, and the lights were flashing, but not able to move the vehicle.
Is he good to go?
Provincial police are leading the investigation and piecing together what happened. Late this morning, cleanup crews were brought in to clear the highway of twisted metal and broken glass. The northbound lanes were reopened to traffic just after 1 this afternoon.
Now, while police continue to investigate the exact specifics surrounding this morning's crash, they are asking any drivers that may have dash cam footage that might have been driving by at the time to come forward. Rob Cooper, CTV News, next to Highway 400.
One person was taken to hospital after a two-vehicle crash near Coldwater this morning. It happened just before 7:30 a.m. at the intersection of Upper Big Chute Road and Kinnear Side Road. It's believed a truck ran into the back of a backhoe. Fire officials say a woman was taken to Aurelia Soldiers Memorial Hospital, and then Orange confirms that it transferred a patient to Sunnybrook Hospital with serious injuries. The road was closed for several hours for that investigation. A 69-year-old man is recovering from life-threatening injuries after he was hit by a truck in Collingwood on Monday afternoon. It happened around 1 p.m. on High Street between 2nd and 3rd Streets. Police say a truck was driving north on High Street when the pedestrian was struck. The driver of the truck remained on scene. The road was closed for several hours for that police investigation. Tonight, an update on the case of Jefferson Dance, the Wasaga Beach man trying to appeal his conviction after being found guilty of driving drunk, killing a grandfather. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports.
Jefferson Dance spent the holidays behind bars after learning he will not be granted bail, pending his hearing before the Ontario Court of Appeal. Justice Steve Carrozza ruled Dance's appeal, quote, while not frivolous, is a weak appeal, and there was a strong public interest in having the sentence immediately enforced. The judge denying Dance's application for bail. Dance, who is now 48, was sentenced in November to 8 years in prison for impaired and dangerous driving causing death. Justice Mark Edwards found Dance guilty on both counts after hearing Dance, with 4 times the legal limit of alcohol in his system, crashed his Tesla Model Y into the back of Jim Lynn's Nissan Juke, killing the 62-year-old at around midnight, April 9th, 2022, along Mosley Street in Wasaga Beach. The court heard Dance was recorded driving 196 kilometers per hour moments prior to the crash and 148 kilometers per hour 1 minute before the crash. Following his conviction and sentencing hearing, Dance formally appealed the decision with the Court of Appeal for Ontario, arguing Justice Edwards did not properly consider claims by the defense that Dance's Tesla may have had a mechanical defect that caused unanticipated acceleration as the Tesla reached a top speed of nearly 200 kilometers per hour in the seconds prior to the crash. The court heard Dance was behind the wheel following a night out drinking with a friend, first at a restaurant in Thornbury and later at a bar in Wasaga Beach, where the two men were captured on surveillance video, leaving minutes before Jim Lynn was killed. Lynn's family called him a loyal and loving brother and stepfather who often drove a shuttle in town, getting people home safely. The night he died, Lynn was delivering pizzas in town. The ruling means Dance will remain behind bars until his appeal is heard. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Barrie.
Officers in Orangeville are on the hunt for suspects after what investigators call a targeted shooting. The OPP say it responded to reports of a shooting in the early morning hours on Monday. The shooting is reported to have taken place in front of a house on Northridge Drive in the southern part of the town. According to police, no one was injured, and investigators are asking anyone with dash cam or security footage to come forward. In York Region, police are investigating after a home was shot at twice in 3 days. The latest happening early this morning. Now, luckily, no one was hurt, but those who live in the neighborhood are shaken. CTV Sean Leithong brings us the details.
A car pulls up to a home in King Township. Shortly after parking, a person exits and fires indiscriminately at a house, leaving visible bullet holes. And it didn't just happen once, but twice in 2 days.
Both of these shootings occurred at the same residence.
This video was taken Sunday evening just before 8 p.m. Several shots fired at the home on Rhea Court near Dufferin, south of King Road.
This morning, shortly after 5 a.m., we responded to that same residence now for another incident.
According to police, the suspect banged on the front door before opening fire this morning. A neighbor who did not want to appear on camera says nearly 20 shots were fired at the house.
The fact that they'd be coming back to this house in such short order is fairly brazen, particularly when the first incident's still under investigation.
Police say no one was injured in either shooting and the homeowner is cooperating. Also, the home in question has numerous security cameras, as do most of the houses on this section of the street. This is just the latest incident where a suspect has fired at a home.
Bang, 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 bang.
Last week, we showed you 2 houses that have been shot at in Richmond Hill, and this footage of a home being shot at in Brampton was actually sent to the homeowner by the suspects. York police say while the motive is unclear, the action appears to be intimidation.
It really speaks to the fact that some sort of message is trying to be passed on.
The car used in the Sunday shooting is described by police as a dark sedan, while the vehicle used in this morning's shooting is described as red. And while they try to identify the suspects, anyone with dash cam footage or security footage they think might be related are asked to contact York Regional Police. Sean Leithong, CTV News.
Correctional Service of Canada says it has made a significant seizure of contraband and unauthorized items at Beaver Creek Institution. Officials say on January 6th, the package was seized by staff members. Inside that package, there was tobacco, marijuana, and shatter, which is a cannabis concentrate. Officials say the estimated institutional value of the seizure is over $141,000. Bradford, West Gwillimbury is one step closer to making roads and specifically busy intersections safer in that community. CTV's Luke Samart has more.
As drivers do what they can to avoid a closed highway during today's commute, it highlights a major safety concern on side roads in Bradford.
Council had some concerns with a lot of our rural roads, our lines, not line 9 through 13, and we talked about what our strategic priority is, and it's actually community safety and traffic congestion.
According to Bradford Mayor James Leduc, 5th Side Road, 10th Side Road, County Road 27, and County Road 4 are seeing a significant increase in use.
In 2015, we had 800 units on the roads, our daily average, and now we're over 1,700 units on those daily average roads.
With more daily drivers, more accidents.
We've seen multiple accidents, and really the 9th line is the big one for us because we actually seen 24 accidents last year alone at that intersection at 10th Side Road and 9th line. So that is absolutely off the charts when it comes to accidents.
Leduc and his council pitching a solution of adding enhanced lighting to major intersections.
Larger stop signs with flashing lights, some kind of solar lighting, nothing too expensive, but at the same time enhances the intersection so people can see it.
The mayor asking Simcoe County Council for those road safety features.
We follow all provincial standards, and we do have a county standard in place, but that's what we're going to take another look at. Should we enhance that, which will come at a cost?
With the warden adding it's time to reconsider the standards set by the county.
We never like to hear about tragic accidents or anything like that happen. Traffic is increasing, so now it's time we sit down and take another look at our standards and maybe look at improving them.
With the report moving forward by County Council, Mayor Leduc is hoping that more stop signs or enhanced lighting can be in place by early spring. Luke Samard, CTV News, Bradford.
It's just about 6:10, so time to say good evening to Casey Colby. You look chilly, but these certainly aren't the coolest of temperatures that are on the way, at least.
Well said.
Indeed, yes, you are correct on many accounts as usual. And yes, it is a little chilly. It's because the wind's picking up. The wind's picking up for a very good reason. I want you to have a look at this. The Snow Squall Watches and Warnings Board. Yeah, we're under a snow squall watch right now. It's basically a good portion of Simcoe County from the Barrie area, Barrie-Innisfil, westerly, right across over to southern tip of Georgian Bay into Lake Huron. We are looking at the chance of, starting tomorrow afternoon, anywhere from 15 to 30 centimeters of snow starting tomorrow afternoon, working into Thursday. So it is a snow squall watch for the time being. Let's continue on with a first look at the forecast, brought to you by our friends at Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. 1 degree, and the winds are picking up. Yeah, out of the south, 17 kilometers an hour. The gust as high as about 50, possibly even 55 a little later on this evening. This is the temperature outside your door. 4 degrees in Toronto, 2 in Alliston, 1 in Collingwood, 1 in Mount Forest, 1 in Orillia, 1 in Parry Sound, and 2 degrees in Owen Sound. This is a look at the radar satellite images over the last little while, and some mixed precipitation moving in our direction. There most certainly is. A little snow, a little drizzle. Yeah. But the snow, well, it will amount to something. Coming up in just a few minutes' time, Sarah, we'll let you know about snow accumulations. Sure, snow squall watch in effect, 15 to 30 centimeters. Plus, all that coming up in just a few minutes' time. Back inside.
Okay, thanks for that, Case. Now, a spike in harmful alcohol use during the pandemic still hasn't gone away nearly 5 years later. That's according to a new report from the Centre of Addiction and Mental Health. CTV's Jack Morris has been looking into this for us. He joins us live tonight to break it all down. Jack.
Well, Sarah, about 12% of respondents from all across Ontario reported symptoms of alcohol dependence. Now, the year before the pandemic, that was just 7.5%. Across the board, drinking is down from the pandemic high, but that constant drinking, that problematic drinking, that harmful drinking bucks the trend. In 2020, the rate of people suffering from alcohol dependence almost doubled from the year before, jumping to nearly 14%. And mental health indicators have not rebounded since the pandemic either. In many cases, they've gotten worse, with higher use of anti-anxiety medication and antidepressants. For many healthcare professionals, the drop in mental health levels and the rise in alcohol dependence during the pandemic was concerning, but wasn't a surprise. It's the fact that it hasn't improved since the end of the pandemic that's concerning now.
When we saw, sort of decreasing rates of sort of mental health and the changes in alcohol early on, I think we thought that people would adjust, within a couple of years, but we're not seeing that. So it makes us think that, that maybe these behaviors and habits that became the norm during COVID have not necessarily switched back.
Now, recent studies have shown that alcohol is more harmful than once thought, which draws the province into a tighter focus to combat alcohol addiction. There are rapid access addiction medical clinics across the province, including in Barrie, Orillia, Wasaga Beach, and Midland. Sarah, back to you.
All right, that's our Jack Morris reporting live tonight. The Canadian Transportation Authority logged more than 100 reports of disruptive air passengers last year. That includes people accused of inappropriate touching, instigating fights, uttering threats, and even sneaking onto flights. CTV's Scott Hurst reports.
We're talking rage at cruising altitude and sometimes even before flights get off the ground. Canadian transportation authorities logged more than 100 reports of disruptive air passengers last year. The incidents caused numerous flights to be delayed, diverted, or turned back to the gate. In many cases, the passengers causing the disturbances were arrested or escorted off the plane by police. The 114 reports include a wide range of bad behavior, including refusing to return to a seat, vaping on board, uttering threats, assault, and indecent exposure, just to name a few. 45 of the 114 reports were filed by flights departing or arriving in Calgary, by far the most for any Canadian city. It is, as we know, a major WestJet hub, followed by Toronto with 27 reports and Vancouver with 21. In a statement, a WestJet and Sunwing spokesperson said the airlines have zero tolerance for this behavior. Air Canada tells CTV News the number of reported incidents is a small fraction of the millions of flying customers every year. The reports of bad behavior, however, are actually trending downwards over the past few years, but union reps for flight attendants tell CTV News cases of disruptive passengers often go unreported, depending on the severity of the incidents. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Prime Minister Mark Carney left just moments ago for China. It's for discussions with Beijing. Ottawa is hoping to reset its trade relationship with China after it imposed a 100% tariff on Canadian canola in response to Canada placing a 100% duty on Chinese electric vehicles. Carney will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday. Premier Doug Ford met with officials from Michigan today and spoke out against speculation that the PM may scrap tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles.
I'm very concerned, and so are my friends in Michigan concerned. When you have China coming in at a low cost of EVs, is concerning. We as everyone knows, those parts go back and forth between Ontario and Michigan 7-8 times and get assembled in Michigan or get assembled here in Ontario. And when you have the Chinese government wanting to dump cheap Chinese parts and cheap vehicles here, it cost the Canadian and American jobs. So I'm absolutely 100% dead against this.
Carney's trip to China is the first by a Canadian Prime Minister in over a decade. U.S. President Donald Trump says America doesn't need the Canada-Mexico Free Trade Agreement. When speaking to reporters earlier today, he said it's irrelevant and there's no real advantage for the U.S.
Mr. President, when you renegotiate USMCA, how is that going to help? I don't even think about USMCA. I mean, I want to see Canada and Mexico do well, but the problem is we don't need their product.
You don't think you're going to renegotiate USMCA?
Well, I can. It expires very shortly, and we could have it or not. It wouldn't matter to me. I think they want it. I don't really care about it.
Trump's comments come as Canada looks to renegotiate the deal later this year. The president also spoke about the U.S. auto sector and how any cars being built should be made in the U.S., adding that the U.S. doesn't need Canadian products. Russia struck several cities in Ukraine overnight, launching one of its biggest missile and drone attacks of the new year. The strikes killed at least 4 people and knocked out power to millions across Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia launched nearly 300 drones, 18 ballistic missiles, and 7 cruise missiles in the overnight attack on 8 regions across Ukraine. Emergency power cuts were imposed in the capital, Kyiv, and several other regions, leaving many with no heat and freezing temperatures. Greenland's prime minister says his nation would rather remain part of Denmark than become a U.S. territory as President Trump continues his threats of a takeover.
Så vil jeg gerne gentage, Grønland ikke til salg.
The foreign ministers for Denmark and Greenland are set to meet with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio tomorrow. Greenland's prime minister reiterated today that the island is not for sale. Trump has said that Greenland is vital to U.S. security and America must own it to prevent Russia or China from occupying it. And in Hawaii, one of the world's most active volcanoes is showing no sign of calming down. Lava is continuing to flow inside the crater of the Kilauea volcano. A tall pillar could be seen spouting up yesterday. It's located at Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park on the Big Island. Kilauea has been erupting on and off since December 23rd of 2024. Still to come, seniors that like to get social, whether it's knitting for a purpose or enjoying a cup of coffee. If you're over 60, this group could be for you. Plus, the iconic collection of Gordon Lightfoot artifacts continues to grow in the Sunshine City. We'll let you know when you can take it all in. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Thanks for staying with us. The Aurelia Museum of Art and History is adding 100 new items to what might be the most complete and thorough collection of legendary musician Gordon Lightfoot artifacts found anywhere. From prestigious awards to one-of-a-kind early recordings, the Gordon Lightfoot exhibit at the OMAH is growing in size and emotional value. Newly acquired personal items like a little Gordon's train set and even some of his not-so-well-done chemistry homework from high school offers a never-before-seen intimacy to the legendary man's life.
We have a report that he failed. And I'm like, oh, he's just like us, you know? The teacher was like, not your best work. I'm like, that's absolutely fair. It feels like a privilege, and I'm honored and honestly excited every time I go down there and look at these things.
The new Gordon Lightfoot artifact should be on display at the Aurelia Museum of Art and History sometime this summer. A warm blanket made with love can go a long way.
I'm very proud to say our blankets are in all 3 veterans hospitals, so that is quite a little badge of honor for us.
For the past 10 years, the senior social group in New Lowell has been keeping busy by crocheting and knitting thoughtfully made items for the community, and they're extending the invitation to others. They meet on the first Tuesday of every month at the New Lowell United Church to create handcrafted items or just enjoy each other's company.
We've been asked to make some baby blankets for Stevenson Memorial Hospital in Alliston. Sometimes when particularly new parents are there and they're going to take their baby home, they haven't really thought about, oh, hey, we need a blanket to put over top. And so they're going to have them because we make them.
From blankets to keep cozy to poppies for the Legion, anyone between the age of, well, let's just say starting at 60 can join the group to help create or just relax with a cup of joe. Imagine gliding onto the ice with some of your hockey idols. That will soon become a reality for a handful of young athletes right here in our region.
So we've had a long-term commitment with the Barrie Colts, just allowing local children every year to really experience what it's like to be a Barrie Colt player. I get to spend the day with them.
It's an exciting tradition that's back for its 21st year. Become a Colt for the Day, organized by the Kempenfelt Rotary Club of Barrie. Young hockey players get the chance to train with the pros at Sadlon Arena and experience what it's like to be an OHL player with skill development, behind-the-scenes access to areas only elite players usually get to go. More than that, Colt for a Day raises money for youth-focused charitable programs.
Come on over this way, bud. We have 130 kids that go through this program every year. Like I said, they get to experience that life with the Barrie Colts. But on top of that, it's also raised money for local charities. And this year, we're working with YMCA Sipco Muskoka, and we're helping a lot of great organizations run certain programs, help kids that are in need. So that money means a lot.
The Colt for a Day program is on February 15th at the Sadlon Arena, and registration is now open. You might be wondering where to register. Well, that can be done on our website. You can also find more information about any of the local events that we share, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan the QR code on your screen. Still to come, Casino-Rama continues to impress. A Canadian singing legend has added the Sunshine City to his A Man and His Music tour. More on that, but right now let's head outside. Case.
Well, we know there's a snow squall watch in effect for our region, so snow's on the way, but minus 34.4 back in 1914. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get cold. Close to that kind of cold. I'll let you know how close coming up in just a few minutes' time. Our weather watcher, Artis, take it away, Adriana. And she says, yeah, you know, you got to learn to duck in a snowball fight. Nicely done. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
we're celebrating comfort food this week for our Picture This theme, so please do keep it coming. Picture This at ctv.ca. Now, Case, I mentioned that one of my favorite comfort foods was my dad's pea soup. He did, in fact, send me the recipe in a nice, long, jumbled text message. So once I decipher that, I will be sharing for those that asked. But you didn't share what your comfort food is.
I've got many comfort foods, but hey, you said soup. Did you know that back in 1906, Campbell's soup, yeah, they received their trademark in 1906, January 1906. So it kind of goes without saying, comfort food, soup, Campbell's. Yeah, this is a perfect theme for our pictures this week, for sure. And what's your comfort food? Well, you're going to need it because things are really whipping up in the old Mother Nature weather blender. Let's talk about it and dive into, yeah, well, we'll be careful where we dive because it's a snow squall watch, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, a good portion of Simcoe County, pretty much from Innisfil up through Barrie, right into Midland and head west. And as you head west, you get the southern tip of Georgian Bay and a good chunk of Lake Huron. We're looking at 15 to 30 centimeters of snow arriving tomorrow afternoon right through till Thursday. So keep that in mind if you have plans. And this is where we sit right now as far as our temperature. 2 degrees in Owen Sound, 1 in Parry Sound, 0 in Gravenhurst. It looks like 1 in the Sunshine City of Orillia, 1 in Newmarket, and holding on to 4 degrees down in Toronto. Almanac, 1, -1. We didn't really go very far, did we? No, we did not. And there it is, -34.4 and 1914 record. Cool. Sun rises tomorrow, 7:51, sets at 5:04. 9 hours and 12 minutes of daylight. And ladies and gentlemen, Adam is rolling the forecast radar. Thank you, Adam, for rolling that forecast radar and enlightening us as to what we may expect as far as, call it showers. Yes, there's some. Drizzle. Yes, there's some. And flurries. The southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe overnight. 2 degrees. A little drizzle, little light snow, 2 centimeters. Accumulation for tomorrow. Well, according to Environment Canada, flurries 2 to 5 centimeters of snow first thing tomorrow morning. There is a chance it could change over to drizzle at some point. And then an additional 2 to 15 centimeters of snow in the evening as per our snow squall watch. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2 centimeters of snow expected this evening, mixed with drizzle off and on. If you're out driving, I know it's very challenging. 0 and 1 for the highs tomorrow. 2 to 4 centimeters of snow during the course of the day. An additional 2 to 4 centimeters of flurry activity in the evening. To the north, Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 0, -1 and 1 degree. Light snow this evening, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow, 5 centimeters of snow expected in the Halliburton region. Could switch over to drizzle just to annoy you. -1, -2, -3. Flurries for tomorrow, 2 centimeters of flurry activity and 2 to 4 centimeters of flurry activity, Gravenhurst and Halliburton. And tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, -30 with the wind chill. Risk of frostbite. Thought I'd give you the warning. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And here we go, starting in Simcoe County. And as mentioned, yeah, we're looking at about 15 centimeters of snow tomorrow night. And the wind chill heading into tomorrow night, -28 with the wind chill. And the high for on Thursday, -14 and snow. Snow again on Friday, but it's a little milder, -5. Saturday was a peak of sunshine. It doesn't want to stay around. -4, 60% chance of flurry activity. And at this point, looks like Sunday cloudy and 60% chance of flurries. This is the 5-day extended forecast, York region. No sunshine for you. No. -11 for the high and a 40% chance of snow on Thursday. Very chilly Thursday. -17 is the low. And then, well, we do recover somewhat as far as temperatures go, but snow on Friday, -4. -1 on Saturday, 60% chance of snow and a 40% chance of snow under cloudy skies on the Sunday. This is Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton 5-day extended forecast. There it is, Thursday, peak of sunshine, sun cloud, 30% chance of snow, but oh, so chilly. -15, -16, the high, the low. Friday, back into the snow. -6 is the high. -5 on Saturday. Peak of sunshine. Look at all these little peaks of sun. Well, there's not really many, but a couple of peaks of sunshine. -5, -14. And at this point, it looks like Sunday. Well, how about a little snow? -8, -12. Sarah, get the soup ready.
Once I figure out the recipe, there will be some for all. But right now, let's talk about Canadian singing legend Paul Anka, because he's making his way to Simcoe County this spring.
But I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my
What a voice. Anka is bringing his A Man and His Music tour to the Casino Rama Resort on April 10th. He's known for his hits My Way, Diana, and many more. Tickets are between $70 and $130. They go on sale to the public this Friday. Fresh off their mandatory military service in South Korea, BTS is embarking on a world tour in April. The North American leg of that tour includes 2 concerts in Toronto. BTS will play Rogers Stadium on August 22nd and the 23rd. Pre-sale begins on January 22nd and tickets go on sale to the general public on January 24th. The K-pop megastars have been on a break since 2022. Now, we do have some sad news to share tonight. Scott Adams, the creator of the popular comic strip Dilbert, has died. That's according to an announcement on his social media pages. Adams announced in May that he had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. His comic strip that lampooned office culture and bad bosses ran from the 1990s until 2023, when Adams faced backlash over racist comments about Black Americans. Adams' ex-wife, Shelley Miles, announced his death during today's episode of a YouTube show that he hosted, Coffee with Scott Adams. Adams passed away at the age of 68. An American athlete is accusing a Canadian coach of sabotage by intentionally keeping her from qualifying for the upcoming Olympic Games. American Katie Olander, a former world champion skeleton racer and 5-time Olympian, says Canada withdrew some competitors from an event with crucial Olympic qualifying points on the line by reducing the field, meaning less qualification points were up for grabs. Olander won the event, but says Canada's decision eliminated her chances of competing at the Milan Cortina Games. The Sports Canadian Federation says that they're aware of the allegations, and the international governing body says it's launching an investigation. And the NHL and the Players Union have checked out the main rink for next month's Olympics in Italy. Crews are rushing to complete the arena in time for the Milan Cortina Games. The inside of the venue remains under construction, with hospitality areas and locker rooms yet to be completed. This past weekend, the league and the PA attended a test event there, a game between Italy's top teams. In a joint statement, both said they were pleased with the test event and will continue to monitor progress on the remaining work. Well, February may be the month of love, but January, not so much. It's become known as Divorce Month. Coming up next here on CTV Barrie, we'll be joined by a local family law expert to talk about that. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. Do stay with us. Time now to recap our top stories. Highway 400 has reopened after a crash that left an off-duty York Regional Police officer with serious injuries. The 3-vehicle collision happened just before 4 this morning in the northbound lanes of the 400 near Simcoe County Road 88. A judge has denied Jefferson Dance of Wasaga Beach bail as he tries to appeal his conviction after being found guilty of driving nearly 200 kilometers an hour while drunk behind the wheel, killing 62-year-old Jim Lynn. The ruling means Dance will remain behind bars until his appeal is heard. And Bradford, West Gwillimbury is asking the County of Simcoe for enhanced lighting at rural intersections. Now, with a report moving forward by County Council, Mayor Leduc is hoping that stop signs or enhanced lighting can be in place by early spring. Many people look to turn a new leaf as they step into the new year, and it seems statistically that includes considering a separation from their significant other. Joining us now from Barriston Law is partner practicing in the family department, Hilary Goodman. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Why is January, Hilary, considered Divorce Month?
Sarah, January is divorce month. We are in the thick of it. And I think there's probably 3 factors that really contribute to that. The first one being, reality is people don't want to incite a separation just prior to the holidays. So we've got, separations are typically very stressful. You don't want to be in that 2-week period of time to be in the home with your spouse if you're going through a separation. People always will tell me, let's put it off to the new year, get through the holidays. The second factor, I think, is reality is January 1st, people are doing a reset. They're reflecting on what the new year brings. They're thinking, what are my next goals and aspirations? And does that really align with what my spouse and I are doing? And if not, then the reality is a separation is likely looming. And the third reason is really people spend a lot of time together during the holidays. So we keep track of all the new calls that come in, and we do see an influx in January as well as September. So that follows the Christmas break as well as the summer break, because people spend a lot of time together during that period of time. And reality is you either make it or break it during that period of time. You either really like spending time with your spouse or you don't.
If people are considering a separation, what's the first step? What should they be doing?
So I think I'd be in trouble with other family lawyers if I didn't say that you have to make sure your actions and behavior for today will become evidence tomorrow. So you have to be really careful. Any messages, any text message, any emails, any communication with your spouse, that should be respectful, because reality is that may be reviewed by a judge one day. But in reality, Sarah, the reality is people are going through a really difficult time, and it's really, the emotions are very high, and they sort of need to know that there is an end to this. They're going to be okay. The period of uncertainty during the separation process is really daunting and crippling for some people. If you've got children involved, you're wondering, how are my children going to feel upon the separation? When am I going to see them? What does the parenting schedule look like? And then financially, you have considerations such as, we're currently maintaining one home. How are we then going to support 2 homes? How are we going to sell our family home in this market? Real considerations, and that stress is very crippling to most people. And I think they need to know, lean on your lawyer, lean on family and friends to get through this process, because you will.
Do people ever come to you just to have a conversation, to ask questions, to open up that line of communication?
All the time. Yeah, and I think it's wise. People need to know their rights and obligations. Having that knowledge is really powerful in my view. Having, knowing what your rights and obligations are upon separation. And I think the second piece of that is building a rapport with a lawyer. So your relationship with a family lawyer is not transactional. It's a very personal relationship. You're talking about, very intimate details of your relationship. You're trusting them with, your children. Decisions about your children, etc. And that comes with a lot of responsibility. You need to be able to trust your lawyer, and you need that rapport at the beginning to really make those decisions.
Okay. A lot of good information there, Hilary. Really appreciate you coming into the CTV studio.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
Yeah, we've been speaking with Hilary Goodman from Barriston Law. Let's go ahead and pull up the website, because this will be online, ctvnews.ca/Barrie. Turning to our business news now, McDonald's Canada has announced it is dropping the price of its McValue meals and freezing the price of a small coffee for at least a year. A McValue meal will now cost just $5, and the price of a small coffee will remain at $1. The promise comes as public perception around dining out has shifted in recent years, with more people than ever being cost conscious and willing to go wherever will provide them with the best value. Other fast food industry players like Tim Hortons and Wendy's have both sold meal deals in Canada, and Burger King has also marketed small combos similar to McDonald's McValue menu in Canada. Let's move right into the markets. The TSX was down 4 points, the Dow was down 398, and the Nasdaq was down 24. And commodities oil was up, closing at $61.15 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,599 an ounce. Our dollar down, ending the day at 72.01 cents US. More than 105,000 Canadians traveled abroad for medical care last year. A report by the Fraser Institute finds that more than 12,000 people traveled outside of Canada for urology treatments, while 10,000 people went abroad to undergo general surgeries. Ontario had the largest number of patients leave the country for treatment, and more than 26,000. The report cites wait times as a key factor, as the median wait between doctor referral and treatment was nearly 29 weeks, the second longest ever measured. A new study reveals the world's most powerful passports. Singapore tops this year's Henley Passport Index. Singaporeans can enter 197 other countries without a visa. Japan and South Korea are tied for second, while 5 European countries share third place. Canada ranks 8th, tied with the UK, with passport holders allowed to visit 169 countries. That's 2 spots ahead of the US, which sits at 10th. Still to come, a touching tribute. Toronto Maple Leafs center Bobby McMahon recognizes a lifelong Leafs fan who recently passed away. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we're giving away tickets to see Triumph at Scotiabank Arena.
So make sure you're listening weekdays from 5:30 to 10 for you.
Here's a look at your Tuesday night primetime lineup. Haunted Harmony Mysteries Buried at Sea starts at 8 o'clock, followed by Criminal Minds at 10 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. The Toronto Maple Leafs continue their Western road trip tonight with a stop in Utah to take on the Mammoth. Last night, they got a win over the best team in the league.
Breaking, he's got Nylander on the wing, a shot, scores! Holy mackerel! The Leafs win it in overtime!
William Nylander scored with 61 seconds left in overtime to beat the Colorado Avalanche 4-3. Easton Cowan, Austin Matthews, and Bobby McMahon also scored for the Leafs, who won their 4th in a row. Now, speaking of Bobby McMahon, he's being recognized for something he did off the ice this weekend. He paid tribute in a very special way to a Toronto grocery store employee who recently passed. Here's CTV's Sean Leathong with more.
Honoring a person who connected a community. Leafs center Bobby McMahon wearing a safety vest as he arrived at Scotiabank Arena Saturday night. The vest belonged to a lifelong Leafs fan who died tragically just days earlier.
Kevin Wilson. He's a cart guy at Loblaws that I would go to all the time.
48-year-old Wilson was in charge of shopping carts inside the Loblaws at Lakeshore and Bathurst downtown. But he specialized in kindness and connection with nearly everyone who walked through the door.
Just a really good spirit, really good person. Affected a lot of people positively, I think, when they walked into that place.
Inside his place of work, customers are placing flowers, notes, and Maple Leafs memorabilia, as many describe Wilson the same way.
Every time somebody came in, he made their day.
He spoke to probably every customer that came up the escalator, including children in strollers.
He was always smiling from year to year.
He had charisma. He had a kind of personality that was outgoing, and you could see the goodness within him.
Wilson died suddenly in hospital on January 8th. The cause has not been made public. He'd been working at Loblaws for 5 years, and in that time became a fixture with both customers and co-workers.
I have no words because I'm so heartbroken. Like, it devastates me. And I don't think he even realizes how much people loved him.
Making every day a little brighter with a little connection, especially with those who love the Leafs.
You give me a fist bump, talk Leafs. Literally every time.
This man, my boy Kevin, might have been legitimately the biggest, most diehard fan in Leaf Nation.
That includes Frank Krupe, known online as Hockey Illuminati, who dedicated a post to Wilson last week.
But his favorite Leaf was Bobby McMahon, who would also pop in to the Loblaws every now and then. He got a photo with him one time. He was so excited to show it to me.
McMahon asked the store if he could borrow one of Kevin's vests and a name tag.
Always had positive things to say, so I just wanted to honor him.
A GoFundMe page to cover funeral costs has already exceeded $20,000. And though he may never know how far his kindness reached, now many more know who Kevin Wilson was. A man who made a community through kindness. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
All right, Case, let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow.
First thing tomorrow morning, Sarah, the Get Up and Go forecast. Let's have a look and see where we are as far as a little snow, a little drizzle, 1 degree in Barrie at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. In Newmarket, it looks like much the same, and 2 degrees. And the northern part of our viewing area for the Get Up and Go first thing tomorrow morning looks like flurry activity in the Gravenhurst region. Have yourself a wonderful evening, Sarah.
And the same to everyone at home. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks for spending this hour with us. Jack will wrap things up tonight at 11. Take care.